for the first time since February 24th, I can say I'm actually feeling okay. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm trying to be extremely cautious and in being optimistic, because we do understand that no matter how magnificent this counteroffensive is, it still is, it's going to take a long time and many efforts and unfortunately many victims before we actually take over the whole or take back the rest of the territory. But of course, the progress is magnificent. And what is more important is not the percentage of land that we have taken, even though in itself it's amazing and unbelievable, but how fast the Russian army just collapsed. Like their whole chain of command just collapsed. They cannot, they cannot hold ground. They cannot force their troops to stay. They cannot, like it just collapsed, all of it. And that is even more optimistic. Like actually, when this was all happening, I was in Lisbon for some parliamentary meetings, and I was first of all, I was witnessing the people from different parliaments in Europe as they were reading the news from Ukraine, and they were all coming up to me and said, like, "Is that for real? Is that for real?" Like everybody were just amazed. But then I was traveling back to Ukraine, and of course, traveling back to Ukraine is extremely complicated right now because I had to fly to Poland, then I had to take a train, then I had to take a bus, then I had to take another train. But anyways, I was listening to many people, like many Ukrainians in trains in Poland, in train in Ukraine, in the bus and everything, discussing what was happening as we were speaking. And everybody was just so excited. Everybody was just, did you hear that? We have pushed them out of this town. Did you hear? We got this town. Oh, that's great. Let them all go to hell. Like a woman with her teenager son, they were reading the news in the train from Krakow airport to the train station, and they were reading the news, and the woman said, like, so the Russians are running to the border. Well, they should run to hell. That was, but everybody was just extremely uplifted. The calculations are that we have took back about 1% of Ukraine's territory, maybe a little bit less than 1%. Yeah, a bit less. That depends on how you count and all of that. So well, let's say 0.7 or something like that. And that's in itself is amazing. Ukraine is a huge country, so the territory is big, but still, Russians have been controlling 20% of Ukraine's territory. So that puts things into perspective. It took lots of effort to take back less than 1%. So we still have 19+% to go. So we have to be realistic about that, I think. And I think we shouldn't, we were discussing this with my team, and we said, like, yeah, we shouldn't get overly excited, and we shouldn't get into this thinking that it would be done in a week or two or a month. It's just that now the only thing we allow ourselves to be happy about is the positive trend. But even before this counteroffensive, there was some polling done in Russia which showed that the number of people who support the war has actually been down quite significantly. I think that the recent number was even less than 50% of people who directly support the war, or the special military operation, as they call it. So the trend was there. And now and of course the Russian television does not report about it as much as the Western media do, but still I was following several Russian propagandists on their Telegram channels, and they were all saying, like, yeah, don't panic. It just like literally an hour ago I read one of the Russian propagandist Telegram channels. I'm just going to find a quote here. Where was it? We tactically retreated. That is the word that they're using. The thing that she can do that Johnson didn't do, which is to supply tanks to Ukraine. That is something that not a single country has decided to do. Well, the Poles and Czechs send us the Soviet tanks, which are not really protecting the personnel. But I think that can be a breakthrough. And I think that is why she can show that, the new leader is at place by providing tanks, which has been a major discussion and still no decisions. If she does that, I think that would be, a huge bonus to her and also, of course, to us.